Hi, friends. It's been a while since I've posted a video on the Star Family Wisdom YouTube channel, so I wanted to come back on and say hi and to also introduce myself to anyone who's new on this channel and to share a Guru Goddess Purnima offering and just short chat with you to say hello. I'm sitting here in front of a womb chakra yantra painting that I've been working on for a while now. It has been part of a significant transmutation process related to a yogic lineage that I've been engaging for the last couple of years. And there's another YouTube channel called the Supernatural Souls channel that was born from that exploration. I just posted two new videos on that channel that are a little more specifically for folks who followed me there and who are familiar with that yogic lineage, but they may be interesting to anyone who's interested in my journey and interested in higher level teachings and insights related to planetary karmas, planetary cycles. In those videos, I talked about the plasma body, the activation of the plasma body. The last video on that channel is a beautiful activation for you in relation to the plasma body and superconductivity, quantum conductivity, quantum computing as a human. And I also shared a bit about some of my work tracing karmas on this planet, and through my consciousness reclamation process, my soul retrieval process in this lifetime, through my awakening experience, I've done a lot of work to better understand the different eras of human history, the karmas present, the imprinting present, the current time consciousness conditions and patterns that originated at different points in history. So doing a lot of that sort of work. My journey originally started on this channel partially because of a spiritual awakening, partially because of ET contact and remembering lives off planet. So a big part of my journey has been galactic and cosmic exploration. And as a starseed, as an advanced soul who is incarnated in a human body in this lifetime, I've had access to different parts of myself and my experiences and wisdom I've connected with throughout the ages and off planet. And so that has allowed me, through my journey of awakening and through my journey of becoming the new human, to remember a lot and to utilize tools like shamanic practice and wisdom, yogic practice and wisdom, ancient priestess lineage practices, to reclaim divine feminine wisdom and to utilize that in my return to true harmony and joy and peace and fun and freedom, to feel fully free internally, emotionally, spiritually on this planet, free from conflict, free from distortion, free from negative patterns. You know, a big part of our work on this planet is identifying all of those patterns that we're carrying, identifying all of the consciousness distortions that have happened on this planet, and recognizing where are we actually out of alignment with the way source likes to operate, with the way the universe truly likes to operate. And how can we better understand the integration of those source virtues into the human system? How can we use geometry? How can we use ancient wisdom to allow ourselves to come back into harmony with nature and with ourselves, with each other, with source? And so one of my passions has been related to using these ancient technologies to transform myself, but also my consciousness and my perceptual abilities, so that I can better make contact with Star Family. So Star Family, I think of as the ET beings who are in service to loving evolution on Earth and in this galaxy and throughout the universe, who we might have soul connections with, soul bonds, and who we can be in contact with and who can support us on our journey of becoming the new human. I use the term the new human. That's a term Alberto Violdo from the Four Winds Society has used before. And I really like that term because I like this idea of making a quantum leap from the old state we've been in, which is highly limited, somewhat dysfunctional, traumatic. We've been covered in all of these negative programs and have been wounded in so many ways. And through our spiritual work and our psychological work to reclaim truth and to free ourselves from those distortions, we can make quantum leaps into a new version of ourself and into a different future, into a higher destiny to align with the new earth. So a big part of my journey has been that work. And I'm in Taos now, in Taos, New Mexico. I was in Sedona, Arizona for a number of years on this vision quest. I've been on a vision quest for a number of years, doing this past life excavation work, galactic past life excavation work, remembering different things about our human history that haven't been fully revealed, doing art, alchemy work and transmutation work to upgrade my human system, to get my consciousness back to the state that my soul knew was possible for this lifetime. And that's been a big journey. It's been a challenging journey in a lot of ways. The Star Family Wisdom website was designed to be a mystery school of sorts to offer spiritual wisdom and teachings and offerings to those who found it. It's not really been actively managed for a while now as I've continued my journey of my own exploration and integration. And part of that journey has also been about freeing myself from ego attachments and noticing all of those ways we show up from the ego versus our true self. And there's a little bit of that, in some of my previous work with Star Family Wisdom, not a ton, but a little bit. And so I've also been on this journey of really, really, really tuning into, am I feeling passionate and excited about sharing? Or am I doing it from a place of obligation? Or am I doing it because I'm repeating a past role that I had on this planet, right? There's all these ways we operate and behave that usually just stem from our programming and our past roles and the blueprint we've taken on in this life. So we can also change that blueprint and upgrade that blueprint and let go of past roles and allow ourselves to become more of who we're meant to be. So I've taken a break at times from posting videos and doing teaching work because I don't want to be a full-time teacher or guru or that sort of thing in this life. That's not my aim or mission per se, but I do want to offer insights and share from the heart when it feels right, when it feels supportive or like it might be helpful for others, or if it feels like a fun way to commune. So I wanted to share a couple of ET related things for Guru Purnima. And if you want the deeper teachings on Atlantean karmas, planetary karmas, engagement of divine power, the plasma body activation, superconductivity, go over to the Supernatural Souls channel and check those out. We may talk about some more of that on this channel at some point in the near future. Okay, so in one of those videos, I talked about Eden, and I talked about our work to return to some of the original Eden source codes on this planet. So much of our wounding on this planet has been about our move into a duality matrix, which introduced a lot of negativity, which introduced this polarity drama that's been playing out for thousands and thousands of years on this planet. Prior to that, we operated in what is known as a tri-wave state of operating, which we really learn about when we get into spirituality. That's really the understanding of the full cycle of life. Birth, death, rebirth, rather than looking at things as black and white. We see that there's a whole spectrum. We see that there's gray in between. We recognize that life is not finite, that there is a continuous cycle that is always occurring. And that tri-wave state also is about that balancing between the masculine and feminine, this very easeful flow that occurs. I might share more about that at some point on this channel, but in that state of being, we are in a more natural flow with nature, and we experience more synchronicity, and we experience more of the magic of the universe. So that's about getting into a state of non-duality, essentially, and allowing this shift in consciousness from that polarity state or duality state. And in our very, very, very ancient times in Lemuria, we lived in a very Edenic type of environment. Then came Atlantis. Then came Atlantis, and we had the introduction of a duality matrix on Earth for its ascension process. That was an intentional process to support Earth's ascension. She wanted to ascend. And so then here comes Atlantis, and all of a sudden we start to experience drama, and we start to experience some distorted power dynamics, and we start to experience spirituality becoming about power and making things happen and manipulating reality rather than being in flow with the magic of reality that naturally exists. So all of a sudden, from the Atlantis time all the way to now, we've been operating with significant distortion, significant polarity dramas that lead to distortions and imprints in our energy fields that prevent us from really living that Edenic, beautiful experience of life that's possible. So part of my transmutation work has been recognizing what are all those patterns living in me related to basically what started with Atlantis, and how can I clear all of that out so I can go back to Lemuria and pick up some of those codes and bring them forward. So kind of this shamanic, yogic, time bridging process I've been doing to remember Lemuria, to remember different aspects of the Garden, Eden, of what it used to be on Earth and how we can get back there. And one of my favorite star races is the Semi-Lumari group, Semi-Lumari. Enlightened monkeys. That's the Hanuman group. And in a little bit, I'm going down to the Hanuman temple here in Taos. There's a beautiful Neem Karoli Baba and Hanuman temple here. And they're putting on a beautiful festival for Guru Purnima. And there's a beautiful vibe of community and unity and just very free-flowing, non-rigid, easeful gathering in that space. And so I'm excited to go be in that space for a little bit today. And specifically because Neem Karoli Baba and Hanuman are connected to the Semi-Lumari lineage of the stars. A lot of you are already familiar with different star races. There's a lot of conversation out there about star races right now. Some of it accurate, some of it a little distorted. We're working through that as humans. We're figuring out what's true and what's not. But the Semi-Lumari are some of the most enlightened, and they were around way back in our Eden days. All the other star races we know about, and like some of the ones in the Egyptian and Indian mythology and dramas that we've heard about, those came after. A lot of those star races were arriving during Atlantean times to work with humans. And so the Semi-Lumari, the Hanuman lineage, they are pre-distortion. Not that all these other star races were distorted in how they interacted with humans, but some of them still carried some of their own dramas and agendas. And the Semi-Lumari are just agenda-free. They are lighthearted, joyful, playful. A lot of times we hear about working with Hanuman for inner child work, and that's partly why. Because they have transcended all aspects of drama and polarity in this universe, and they operate at one of the highest frequencies, and they are able to disarm negativity through joy and play. And so I've really aligned with them a lot in this lifetime as allies, as kin, star kin, soul friends, soul family who I've known throughout time and who have been in support of my mission. I like to call on them when I need some help getting into joy or getting back to play, when I've been in a period of heaviness or sadness or something. Sometimes I'll call on them and ask them to engage with me through the field and to be present with me for that day and to help me lighten up and to help me see the humor in things and to not take everything so seriously. So they were around with some of the first groups of humans back in that day. And so, they've had a strong presence in our mythology for a reason, because they had a very strong initial presence on this planet, and they continued to engage with humans throughout some of the Atlantean times. But as things got more and more, drama oriented on the planet, they took off. And then as the planet started to descend in consciousness, the star races did all eventually have to take off. So we're entering a time period where their arrival again on Earth is somewhat imminent. And the Semi-Lumari will likely, they won't be one of the first that come. We'll engage with more humanoid type beings first, but there'll be like a second group that comes because they're very playful and fun, and a way for humans to engage engage with a different species that doesn't feel so foreign to the human system, that doesn't feel confronting to the human system, and doesn't feel scary to the human system. So those are some of the first ones that are going to come to Earth during this age that is upon us. And this, is going to be a multi-decade process, but something we can look forward to. And so we can start to work with the Semi-Lumari friends now and invite them into our lives and to support us in finding our way back to a more Edenic way of operating, a way that's in flow with nature, that's in harmony with nature, that's in reciprocity with life, that is honoring all relations, that is in deep communion with the cosmos and source, and has done the work to transcend out of some of those dramas and heavy states that we find ourselves in as humans. Some more of that work has also involved remembering more about the Mantis group. So in previous videos, I've shared off and on about my connection with the Mantis family, and that that's been one of the primary ET connections I have anchored on in this lifetime. There's a couple of past life regression videos I've posted on the Star Family Wisdom channel that give you an experience of what it was like to see and meet a mantis as a human, but then also to remember what an interaction looked like in space on a ship as a mantis with another mantis. And so I've been through a few rounds of exploration related to my mantis lives and my mantis self and that soul blueprint that I carry, in addition to some other star race blueprints. So part of this work to remember all the way back to Lemuria and get a better sense of the full arc of history on the planet has been to work with the mantis around that. And I think this has been alluded to or shared maybe in some other places, but it is my very strong knowing now that the mantis were the original seeders of Earth and Eden. The mantis generally, at least the group I'm very familiar with, which is the Zenithai mantis elders from the Andromeda system, a lot of the mantis that we are somewhat familiar with on Earth stem from Andromeda. And that's partially because this galaxy, as we have learned about in some of our sci-fi and through various galactic channels, this galaxy has been engaged in some drama. That means this galaxy is not as advanced as other galaxies. And it's good for us to just remember that throughout time in the past, we've had dramas playing out in this galaxy, which resulted in some of the dramas on Earth. And so we're remembering that and we're healing from that on Earth and remembering our true history. And the galaxy is also healing from that. All of these different star races that have ever interacted with Earth are in a process of working with Earth for the healing of that. Because it's not always worked out so well. We had situations like Atlantis happen where a lot of wisdom and power got distorted, and then humans, took that and ran with it, and then we had a cataclysm, and then humans got set back, and the story unfolds from there. So we've had a long history of challenges, even with, star races attempting to help, humans advance. And so we're in a period of time where we have the opportunity to learn about that, to heal from that, to better understand the galactic landscape, and to better understand our friends from other galaxies who have also helped us at different times. The Mantis family are all about embodying the law of harmonic compassion. Where other star races or beings maybe haven't always risen into their highest state of compassion and communion with all of life and all beings on all planets as gardens of the mother, the Mantis have recognized all planets as gardens, as beautiful beings and gardens that are to be tended to in the most loving, careful way. So the Mantis have been watching, overseeing what's going on Earth to support our evolution out of these dark times and to support our return to a more Edenic, harmonious place of being, where we can see our planet again as a beautiful garden and tend to it as such, and allow beauty to come forth in the creation rather than destruction. So I've done a lot of work to remember that original seeding and to remember the ways in which the Mantis operate in this galaxy, other galaxies, the ways in which they support this galactic council and organization in its support of planets like Earth. So as I was in this process of doing this journeying and remembering this friendship between the Andromeda and Milky Way galaxy, remembering the way in which the Mantis brings species harmony and encourage species harmony and connectivity and interconnectedness, the way in which these beings understand the highest level of stewardship in creation. And as I was doing some of my own past life integration and recognizing all of the ways my soul has engaged Earth throughout time, both off planet and on planet through incarnational cycles, I wrote a poem that I thought I would read here for fun. And I've done this exercise a few times. I like to do different writing exercises when I'm in a process of reclaiming parts of myself, or integrating past lives, or integrating new truths. It's a helpful tool for the psyche and for the subconscious to just anchor and integrate and weave together those new truths in a way that really, sits with you well. And so this has happened a number of times, which has been really fun for me and something I encourage you to do as well. And I like to think too of, the spoken word is powerful. And when we utilize poems, written word, it's like a spell, right? Like we are also then informing the matrix around us. We're informing the energy field with that new truth. So as we speak truth, as we embody truth, that is informing the reorganization of the field around us. Okay. Is there anything else to say about the mantis before I read the poem? So some of what's in the poem is also related to this idea of something I was exploring in the yogic lineage over the last couple of years. In the yogic lineage, this specific one, there's been a lot of emphasis on what is known as Divine Mother Darshan, getting the pure essence and energy of Source Mother Flame into human form, either through a supernatural spiritual process or sometimes an incarnational type of process where someone is holding source coding or pure Sophia, Divine Mother intelligence that can move through a human system. Jesus was that, for example. Jesus was a full embodiment of the mother, which is why he was able to speak in ways that sounded like pure source intelligence. It was pure source intelligence coming through him. He had become a vessel that could channel that level of intelligence and power at times. So in this yogic lineage, there's been a lot of emphasis on that, about Divine Mother and about the ways in which she appears and the ways in which we engage with mother intelligence. The mantis have something to do with that. The mantis are some of the most connected to source in terms of their embodiment of source intelligence and architecture of source and the ability to implement that architecture in creation. Okay, here we go. Mu Mantis Masters, seeding the garden of life on earth, stewards of Mother's creation and all of life's new birth, bringing peace and restoration of love through harmonic compassion. Who knew Mantis Masters had such amazing galactic fashion? Fashion beyond the material, adorned in light and love from the heart, always in support of Earth's evolution and the timing for a fresh start. We come in peace, alignment with source, and bring blessings of flow. With wings of flutter, diamond laughter, and the abundance of source glow. We embody high creator codes in human form as a gift to the all. We hold the light and see from within, remembering times before the fall. We hail from Andromeda and support your galactic councils of light to ensure planets evolve into source harmonics and end their dark night. 'Tis time now for the Earth's new era and the dawn of a new day. It's time for the return of Mu and the return of your friends, the Fae. For there was once a time on Earth that was magical beyond compare. Humans were peaceful species mingled and life was balanced and fair. The Earth was abundant, overflowing and providing surroundings of heaven. Lemuria was a paradise built and maintained by the Council of Seven. Things got off track and the Earth began encountering viral danger. We honor the struggle, the loss, the pain, and the experience of human anger. For it saddened us too to see the Earth fall out of touch with Eden's memory. But the story always ends with happily ever after destiny and cosmic glory. We waited thousands of years for the perfect moment to appear, for the architecture to adjust, codes to dissolve, and for dissolution of fear. So now we return, not just us, but friends from many star systems and races, to support a restoration, a rebirth, and spiritual re-education about the goddesses' faces. For the Divine Mother has walked among you, even if you could not see. But the time has drawn near to remember her across your human history. She comes through us, embodied, alive, radiant, and sometimes queen. You've seen her throughout centuries, many a time, sometimes without a king. You've seen her sovereign, creative, commanding, and now she is back to dissolve distorted codes and liberate all humans from states of lack. Because the time has come for the creation and birth of a new Eden. The winter is ending and spring is here. It's time for a new season. Your star family love you and are excited to meet you in divine time. Let your ego dissolve, release your fears, humans, and now return to love sublime. Fluttering wings. I love you. I think that will be the end of this transmission for today, and we'll just let that land. And I'll be back at some point to share more and to also share some of what's been integrating about my exploration of human history of recent times and this deepening of my galactic blueprints and integration of their truths. Okay, bye for now. Happy Goddess Purnima. Blessings to all for your highest destiny and highest path forward. I love you. Your star family love you. Bye for now.